Well, hello guys. Today we're going to walk you through the next innovation from Sussex Tool and Supply. It's going to be our My Toolbox. So if you go onto our Sussex Tool website, you can kind of grab the My Toolbox icon here. We've had some great feedback on our website from an application side. Some amazing, even some of our competitors, as well as some of the competing manufacturers, have sent me some private information, just saying how nice it is, which is great to hear. You know, it's a good attaboy after putting a lot of years into building it. So here's our My Toolbox. This is kind of the front screen. It just kind of displays, the basics of My Toolbox. So we're going to go through each individual section here really quickly. So we have inventory. So inventory at a glance, which is amazing, right? So you can pull up your inventory. All your pictures are already there, images of your product. The nice thing here is if you build a product that already exists from Sussex Tool, like here's some ATI end mills we sell to a client. When this product already exists, the nice thing is it automatically puts the picture in. If it's a milling cutter, it automatically associates the inserts and the screws and some of those features that are very difficult in vending. This does automatically for you because it is talking to our other softwares. One product at a list, build a catalog for the crib. We can do cribs. This is actually a display of the crib. You can do durables, you can do spare parts, MRO, gauging, raw material, finished goods, pretty much anything you want to do. So here we can actually do our suppliers, right? We can actually have a preferred supplier, which today is very important because you do want to have a secondary supplier sometimes with supply chain and issues, right? Sometimes, we just can't sell you the product. Maybe a large box store has that product in stock because they buy it in much larger volume. I don't want you to be shut down. You don't want to be shut down. So you should have a secondary supplier for those situations. Maybe somebody's more money than the other guy, but they have inventory and you're going to buy it because you need to keep your machines running. That's exactly what you should do. So tool list kits ready to issue, right? This is an amazing tool. You can just drag one of those pictures you saw up above right into a tool list, just drop and drag. It's got a great search engine on it. You can type in the search bar and just boom, type in 90-degree mills. You're going to get all your 90-degree mills. You can just drop the inserts, the cutters, the screws, whatever you want to put in your kit that you want your guy to issue. Maybe you want your gauge to drop in there, but so you can literally put tool lists together instantaneously. In the engineering side, you can actually drop in our models. As you grab those models, they have our part number assigned. So depending on what CAD/CAM package you're using, you can just drop that into there as you're programming, and it'll automatically build these tool lists with a little API that we can write. So now the engineers can actually drive what tooling goes on the floor. There's no more creating those sheets that people try to barcode or just have part numbers on them, and people struggle searching. People try to put pictures on it, but you really can't put a picture on there. Well, why spend time with that? Honestly, if you just use our software and you design your program with our models, you should be able to just have that export and already be pre-laid out for your user at the floor, which is an amazing tool, right? Or for the tool crib guy to pull for a job coming up. So you can clone. If you're an operator, every operator to every machine can now take and build their own tool list. Maybe they have authorization to lock it out. We do have ways to lock that out in case you want management to approve certain things, but they can build their own tool list. The clone feature is great because if it's a production facility, you tend to get the same thing every day when you clock in. You can have that already cloned. You can go to your workstation, start setting up your part, open up your clone. Maybe you need 3 of the 5 tools you normally have cloned. Just go to the vending machine, type in that job number. Those 5 tools come up. Just zero out the 2 you don't want, hit issue, and they all issue simultaneously. Completely different way of issuing, much faster than anything else in the market today. So build a planner, model any machine, right? So this will let you see all the different machines throughout your facility. That's a very difficult thing in a lot of softwares today. We made this super simple. I mean, you basically find your end mill, and you can see exactly which one of the 5, 6, 7, 9 locations it's located inside your facility. So if something's out at a machine, you don't have to struggle to ask somebody where else to go. It's just going to instantly take you right there. So kind of another amazing feature that we found that was a flaw with a couple other suppliers of vending software that we dealt with. So we made some improvements. So again, very easy. People always complained about, I want clear lids, or I want to be able to see my product in a coil machine. Here we have a drawer system where I can actually physically see exactly what products are read. I can see by individual item. I can actually click on this item, which I can't show in the demo, but I can click on this item. It'll highlight all the same items in the entire drawer, so it'll show me all the green ones, the red ones, and orange ones. So I can see if it's actually a critical bin shortage or if it's an entire item shortage, which is kind of a key feature. So So that kind of walks you through that. Min-max is really cool. Obviously, everybody uses that standard today. Now imagine what's going to happen in the future with our software, since it is hooked up to our website, and because you are doing the entire system later, we'll kind of explain this. Since you are doing the entire process through us on our software, and we do have a maybe API written between your CRM or ERP, sorry, and the Sussex software, we can physically, when you enter a job, if it's a job you already made, know what tooling you use, the volume of tooling you used, and we can actually tell you ahead of time if you don't have enough product on your floor to maintain the PO you got. So we can actually tell you're going to have an outage from both your inventory, the vending inventory, and the supplier's inventory the day you enter the PO within about 10 seconds. So we're going to actually predict outages instead of reacting to a shortage report in the future here. So put your crib on the map, right? We can build your entire crib, right? So machine side, these are some of the machines we have. It's just a small sample. We have about 21 different models of machines between, about 8 different locker styles. This particular coil machine also has conveyor belts in the bottom, which seem to work really good for a lot of products. We do have full drop sensing in our machines, so we can pretty much put this thing anywhere on the conveyor belt. It will know when that product drops and stop before the next one drops. If a coil jams up and doesn't actually drop, it'll start doing quarter increments until the product does drop. So we fixed a lot of the issues with coil machines. We do have list of style, we'll call them, cabinet machines. This obviously a little low security. When you open it, you do have access to everything in the drawer. We also have a version of this that when you issue it, will have up to 300 lids, individual lids that'll pop, so we can do a pretty high security ratio of this. And then we also have a full carousel machine. The nice thing in our carousels, everything is 100% metal doors. You can slam them, beat them, punch them. They just really don't break. The other nice thing is from the center line of the carousel to the outside of the door area or clearance area, you have about 17 inches. So you could put like a 17-inch long drill in there if you're doing some deep drilling or some longer components. So we do have some pretty neat pieces of equipment out there today in our hardware section, right? So all the things you can do with a machine, right? You can do counts, you can do returns, you can send out for calibration, you can do stock, you can issue, right? Typical machine. You can use all kinds of badges, username, barcodes to scan in. This tool list thing we kind of talked about earlier, you can just drop a tool in right from your list, and you can go up and vend the entire thing. That carousel will turn, the coil will start dropping, the locker might pop, right? You don't have to go back and forth or keep requesting additional items off your list. The gauge tracking will tell you where you put it, what machine it's at, what machine you actually took it to. So if I want to see where the gauge is in your facility, you as a user assigned it to your workstation, right? So eventually we'll actually have BLE and RFID small antennas that will actually show those gauges live sitting at your workstation. So we are working on that currently today. So manufacturing lets us see everything in the manufacturing sector, right? Anything you want to do with manufacturing, finished goods, bill of materials, routing, scheduling, cost of parts, pretty much everything at a visual here. We're actually looking at here parts, right, and things like that are real-time parts in process, right, where they're at in process, what the priority is on them, high catalog capabilities, stock cards. I mean, really anything you imagine, full bill of materials that go along with them. So if you got assemblies or components you're building, obviously tooling's part of it, but you can really put the screws, the bolts, the fasteners, the springs, the electrical mechanisms, anything else that goes in this bill of materials. You can also put through production, like where it goes when it comes in. Does the raw material come in, then go to the lathe turns it, and then it goes out for heat treat. When it's done with heat treat, where does it go? It goes to the grinder. Then maybe the grinder's done with it, and it goes over to powder coat or some kind of heat, another kind of coating, and then maybe it goes to assembly. We can follow that whole path live through your entire facility very easily. So that kind of gives you the idea there in your whole floor. You can see all your machines up and running. What you have for requirements for material, what's planned, what's scheduled, what's in progress, right? Pretty much anything you want to see about your shop floor is available in here at a single glance. So live cost, lock standard. So this will start showing you what your cost is to make that job, right? What your again, when you hit that play button, we should have a pre-laid out starting point. It may not always be what you hit, but at least this will show you some of that, right? What you finish the day at, right? What does the end of the day look like? How your production sits in one platform. So just some great features. Quality is another great feature we added because we had some requests for it. So not only did we just do gauge calibration history like a lot of other softwares, we did a full quality platform. We can track not only who took the gauge and the days that the gauge has been since this last calibration, but we can actually track against the amount of holes. If it was a thread gauge, it was used to thread, as long as your operator signs in and know that, right? We can track the minutes on the floor, which is a key request I had from some customers. They wanted to know, not just was it vended, but how long was it on the floor for? I mean, if this gauge has been on my floor for, 2,000 hours, I want to get this thing calibrated because it might have been used 2,000 times, 4,000 times, and I'd rather they go to a different gauge and we can force them to, one of the other serialized numbers that's the same gauge, right? So this kind of walks you through, right, all that fun information about gauges and what you can do with the gauge. Again, if we record it to a job, we can actually go back and check the job, how easy it is to set up a gauge, right? What, again, that was all used on. It's just all here at a single click. I think it's a really nice layout for gauging and quality and anything else. If you scrap parts, non-conforming parts, again, the user can do that. The quality calibration person or quality person can do that. Why a gauge failed, what problem it was on, what equipment might be problem, what caused the failure. Maybe it was a maintenance issue. We can record that too, right? So maintenance, we added a maintenance scheduler in here just because we had a lot of requests for it. So, and we wanted to actually see your downtime, your reliability of your piece of equipment. PMs are easy to schedule. That's in here. We can also schedule tasks for users. So, I mean, you can actually schedule your general user to once a week clean off their workstation, right? And it'll flag them. When they log in for hours, your general user, if they forget to clock out at the end of the day, we can actually send them a text 15 minutes after they're supposed to clock out and actually tell them that, hey, are you still here? Are you putting overtime or did you forget to clock out? They can swipe and say, hey, I forgot to clock out. It'll clock them out at their scheduled hours, right? So back into the maintenance side, this will actually allow you to upload large files. You can keep full records. Even if we do a refract on your machine, we can do that here. There's a chat button available that'll actually let you talk back and forth with multiple people. You can request maintenance as a user again. You can hit a play button that records how long the maintenance is being done. So when the maintenance technician comes over, he just hits play on the screen. When he's done fixing a piece of equipment, he hits stop, and I can actually put that cost against that machine as his hours. So, again, maintenance here is a pretty large platform. There's a lot of information in here about maintenance. It's not just a basic, hey, Excel scheduler task, right? So here's all the docs. I think we did a great job of creating this for you guys. So if I want to see people and time clocks, I can actually look at what I can do with time clocks, like a Kios type time clock, and I do all kinds of different things. Like we also are building those kiosks up front. So when you log in, punch in as a visitor, we can actually track where you go, what you're assigned to see, how long you're with that person, what that cost was, and was the efficiency in your shop maintained while maybe you were in this meeting, right? So just a lot of different data that we're able to collect that I don't think a lot of systems today collect because we interface what is today probably 4 or 5 softwares that most people have. So we are not, the only thing we're missing is a general ledger. So we don't have the ability right now to do like your accounting. So you would have to hold that, but we will write an API that goes with your software to this software, and that'll allow us to basically collect all that data and put it in our system so you can actually see all the things we can do here, right? You can do your preventive maintenance, calendars, anything else you can kind of think of. Spare parts, you want to record what you use for spare parts, things like that on the maintenance side. Obviously went through inventory. So just a great package. Please schedule. Please get out and schedule a demo on this. I think you'll really enjoy it. It was our way of saving you guys some money. We were going to bill for this, and again, we chose not to at the current time for new users just because, the cost of everything else is so high. We wanted to give you some kind of cost savings, and this was our way of giving you a little bit of a cost savings. So I know for a lot of people I've talked to, this is anywhere between $14,000 and $50,000 for a similar software. We are getting close to linking into those controls and actually getting like a full machine feedback for uptime, downtime. Right now we rely on the user, but we will have that interface here very soon. Again, it's a free software for you to use today. Please contact us for a demo. I really appreciate it. I hope this helps you guys out in your manufacturing process. And all we ask is that you buy buy your products from us at the same cost you're currently paying. So if I can save you 20 grand in a software licensing charge, and you just have to buy that same insert from me, or same tap, or same set of gloves or glasses, or whatever it might be, it's just a great platform. So again, appreciate it. Have a great day.